Chenda can be performed as a large group. When it's performed as a large group, it's called a melam, and it can also be performed in the form of a tayampaga, where it's all centered around one or two people. Yeah, in Sydney, we do it as a melam.
So Chenda was made in Kerala, so we had to air freight the Chenda. So initially we had brought around 16 Chendas to Sydney. So we had to go through the quarantine process because Chenda is made of leather and wood. So we had to go through the process, and we had brought all the Chendas and Elathalams initially 9 years back, and we had to bring in between Chendas, when we have more people in the group, so we need more instruments, so we had to bring Chenda and other instruments in between as well. Well, the beginners, they don't start playing on the drum initially. They start practicing on a piece of wood with the two sticks. So the rhythms are first taught vocally, then they start drumming on the wood. Initially, they take at least 6 to 9 months before they start performing on Chenda. Most of them start playing the elathalam, which is a supporting instrument when we play melam, before they move on to Chenda. Chenda is basically not made for a country like Australia, where we have different climates and extreme climates. So Kerala, which is basically a southern state of India, has got a tropical climate, and Chenda is meant for a climate like that. So when we bring Chenda here, we have to make sure that Chenda is looked after well. Otherwise, Chenda can easily get damaged. If you don't perform on a regular basis, if you have a gap, every 2 weeks we have to keep the Chenda under the sunlight, not to the direct sunlight, in fact, indirect sunlight, and make sure that leather is kept not exposed to the sunlight. After the performance, we have to make sure that the Chenda is put back into the bag where we just zip it. We have to make sure that it's kept properly inside a house, or or a place where it is safe for a Chenda.
Frame of chenda made from wood of jackfruit tree and animal skin, usually of ox or cow.
The chenda usually weighs around 12 to 12 and a half kilos, for reasons that it has to be carried around for a fair bit of time at the time of performances, maybe an hour, 2 hours. Definitely it impacts the body because you are carrying it. It's been about 4,000 years old. Now, mainly it has been used for festivals at temples, but these days it has been used for so many different purposes.
A new student start under a guru by giving dashina to seek his blessing and to be disciplined to learn Chenda. Begin with what we call Ganapati Cholle, ta ta tarigidada, takkida tarigidada, tarigida takkudim, kind of pray.
Indo's rhythm started in 2014 in June. Now, quite a few of us were very enthusiastic about something like a Chenda to be here in Sydney. The major event we performed was to perform at Olympic Park when Honorable Prime Minister Modi came to Sydney after his election. And then after that, we have been very regularly performing at major events like Paramasala in Parramatta, which is a government assisted big program, along with many other major programs all around Sydney.
The traditional melam can go sometimes up to 2-3 hours. It depends on how big the festival is. But here we normally go up to 30 minutes maximum. And most of the time it is less than that. Yeah, in Sydney we perform both the traditional melams as well as the new form of Chenda melam called Shinkari melam. So for traditional melams what we do is we don't perform all the cycles required for the melam, so hence we can shorten it to the need of the people. And we also have our own versions of Shinkari melam which we again customize for the groups here. Yeah, we reduce the amount of time. We have our own tunes as well to say for Shinkari Melam, which is a kind of pop music in Chenda.
Since the occasions are so varied and different, we have different varieties of kurta and dhoti. So they are very unique to our performance, and uniforms are chosen for a particular occasion.
So Chenda is not a solo instrument to perform by yourself. So you need a group to perform Chenda. So it's very important that we stay together as a group. This is not at all a day job for us. So most of us work, other jobs, and this is something we do out of our passion. So basically, we come after our regular job and practice for an hour every Thursday. So it's a big commitment for us. So most of us are from here from day one, and we are here after 9 years. So there is something which is basically keeping us going. We all have the same kind of thinking and the wavelength, and that is helping us to move as a group, for the last 9 years.
The age ranges between 35 to 70. Now, as well, we perform all around Sydney, from Newcastle to Wollongong. The performers usually are spread around Sydney.
So because of the commitment we require for this Chenda practices and other performance, most of the weeks, when we have performance, we have almost every weekend we have a performance. So we need the support from our family as well. So what we basically do is, make sure that the family is part of the group, so it's basically an extended family, So we have different activities which includes the family members also come together, and we have at least once a year get together where we basically, get to know each other, have some fun, especially the kids, the family members, they get together and we have some fun time as well.
We come from different places to gather into that particular location where the performance is to take place. We get ready, we dress, and we perform.
Yeah, the key challenges we have is the availability of time and as well as the hand flexibility. When I say hand flexibility, if you are learning Chenda from a very young age, your hands are really flexible, and flexibility means you can get to the maximum speed level you can get when performing Chenda, where speed is really important. And also back in Kerala, people practice Chenda every day compared to once a week here. That's another big difference. And when forming a team, the biggest challenge is obviously availability and different mix of skill levels. So that's a major challenge when you form a team here. I think what we do is we push to get more practice done and get most people attend, so we can mix and match different instruments within our team.
after doing for 2 hours continuously, I think this is for the first time we are doing such a long period of performing. But the happiness at the end of it, you know, that is what we enjoy every time, time after time.